Welcome, everyone. It is game day Saturday, divisional round playoffs, NFL. So excited. You got Mark, you got Keisha. Keisha, I know you got a pregame. You got to get down to the bank. Let's do this thing.
Hell yeah. Call, motherfuckers, call. Let's go. It's going to be a fun weekend in the 410. I'm trying to tell you. Man, I'm so excited. I'm just as excited as you are, Mark.
Hell yeah.
So, you know how we kick this thing off on the show, what's going on around town. We already know what the biggest thing is. You know, we got a divisional game here. The Ravens, you know, who sit atop the AFC, took the week off to watch all of the peasants play football, and Christ almighty, what a weekend. You know what, before we talk about this weekend, let's back up to last weekend, if you don't mind, my man.
I know where you're going with this, and someone definitely deserves their flowers.
Yeah, and I got the, you know, I always keep it 100 with you outsiders. I think I went 2-4 last week. This might have been the worst pickings that I have ever done in the playoffs, man. And like Mark said, we got to give Jaina her flowers because she went a perfect 6-0. Right? Is that right?
6-6. Yeah, 6-0. 6 for 6.
Okay, yeah, 6 out of 6. So she's batting 1,000, and how appropriate for the Super Wild Card weekend. Man, holy crap! There's so many people that let me down. There's so many people that make me want to cry right now. It's still so painful, man. Like, you know, okay, so just really quickly, Mark, 2 things. I should have freaking known better about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I should have known better. And even watching the game, I was wishing and hoping and praying that there was going to be something to change that narrative. But man, hot shit all the way through the end. I don't know if there's been a more epic collapse in my lifetime than the 2023-24 Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, you know, I did take the Bucks in that game, and if it wasn't for the last month and a half, I would have been riding the Eagles because, like, last 5 years they've been one of the best teams. But
yeah.
I just couldn't overlook that last month and a half, and I'm glad I did because I probably would have rooted for the Eagles overall, like, you know, just who I like better. But for the teams that were playing, I couldn't not take the Bucks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know the other half of that is the other trash part of the NFC. Gosh, what the hell happened to the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, I got to be honest with you. I believe I came in on the maybe like the tail end of the first quarter, and my mouth just dropped open. Like when I looked at the score, like, you know, and as soon as I saw the score, it was like I already knew. I didn't even watch that game, yo.
Right?
I didn't even watch it because when I saw the score, I already knew where we were going with it, and I was like, you know what? Ticket busted. Might as well, you know, picks trash. You know, just keep the horror going all weekend, man. You know, honestly.
Yeah, and like you said, you got to be honest. Like, so like the Bucks game, I fell asleep during that game. That game was just so terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm such a Cowboys hater that was so exciting to watch for me. Even though I picked the Cowboys, to see them like down 27-0 in the first quarter,
Yeah.
It was McDonald's. I was loving it.
Yeah, man, that was gosh, it was just a really rough weekend for me. I was not popping like I normally am. I was just so surprised. So, alas, we are here. Like Mark said, it's the divisional round. Mark and I are going to try to rebound. Let's try to go 4 for 4 today. We're going to try.
Yeah. And
But I think things are gonna steady out. Like it's gonna get back to business as usual this week.
I
I'm
hope so.
thinking,
Hey,
you know.
I really, I mean, given last weekend, I really wanted to copy, off of Gina's homework, but she sent me her picks and I got them in, and I gotta say she made some picks that are wild that I'm not sure I can agree with.
Yeah, well, I mean, what the fuck do we know? She's the one that's batting 1,000, right? What do we know?
Exactly,
What do we
exactly.
know? So, okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And can we also incorporate Gina's picks into our discussions, just so the outsiders can be abreast of what's going on here?
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. All right, first game, which is the game. We got our beloved chickens, dirty birds, blackbirds, ravens, call, whatever you want to call it. Flock Nation is first on deck for this playoff weekend. Like I said, it's going down in the 410. We've been celebrating all weekend. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts has been having this special. They had the party, I guess you would call it like pregame fandom party
Yeah.
down at the bank where you could go and get your freebies, get your stencil on the car, meet some former players. You know, I've done that before. It's a good time. So we had that popping. I mean, of course, everything is all purple down here. Everything is all purple, everything in support of our beloved Ravens, man. It's been popping all week here in the 410. So now, it's time. It's time. And like I like to say, darkness, famous quote, darkness is spreading. Shout out to Charlie Murphy. Darkness is spreading, man, and it's time for them Ravens to take the field, man. And I know that they are just as anxious as every fan here in the 410. I actually think this game today is going to be one of the most entertaining games of the whole weekend. Mark, you agree with me on that? It's got potential.
Whew. It's got potential. Honestly, I hope it's a snooze fest. I hope the Ravens just go up 40-0 in the first half, and we don't even gotta worry about it.
Yeah, I hope that too, but I don't think that shit is going to happen, dog.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's going to happen. That's why I said this game is going to be entertaining, and if you're going to be like me, if you're out there at the bank, you might leave with about 2 fingernails and 5 strands of hair, for real. Honestly, I think this is going to be a nail biter. Let's go ahead and put those odds out there off the top. I think last time I checked, the Ravens were 9-point favorites, Mark?
9.5, which is towing that line.
9.5. Now, I just let you know right here. Like, I mean, man, okay, so 9.5. After the week, when you have a bad week, it just totally messes you up for the next week ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're 100% unsure of yourself, of everything. If you're like me, now I'm looking at everything like, I mean, God, I just don't know. What I will say is, Mark, Vegas has been consistent in underestimating C.J. Stroud in the Houston Texans.
Oh, absolutely.
And I went on and on last week about Pittsburgh and a double-digit spread. This is basically a double-digit spread. Man, I gotta hang on. I gotta stick to my guns. I gotta stick to my rules. This line has gone. It opened at 9. I do know that. It opened at 9. It seems like there's been a ton of money being thrown on the Ravens. So the spread has gone up to 9.5. Total points 43.5. I do like the over on that. But let's get this spread out the way first. 9.5. Major Key says way too many points. How you feeling on that? Are you in agreement or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems to me that there are way too many points. And honestly, I'm trying to figure out the angle with this. Because Mark, we all know if there is any defense out there that could challenge the Ravens defense in as far as stats and numbers and rankings are concerned, it's the Cleveland Browns, dude.
Yeah.
It's the Cleveland Browns. So we're not talking about two drastically different defenses. We made. I think the one big thing is there is the difference between us and the Browns is the offense, and for all of those unfortunate individuals that really threw their money behind Joe Flacco, we all know how that turned out. And we all know that is not going to happen today. There's no way in hell. If there are 2 pick sixes thrown today, God forbid, I would sacrifice myself to the football gods. I'm serious. That's the only big difference. There's not a big difference between the defenses. So, for Vegas to just not only double down. I mean, they put all the chips. To me, they just put all the chips out there.
Yeah.
With that 9.5 spread, man. I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And it just doesn't make sense.
It's very high. It's shocking to me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw those first easy money picks out here because I feel like this is easy money right here. First and foremost, let's go ahead and let's get those JABO crew picks out of the way. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. We're both in agreement that the Ravens are going to win. I'm pretty sure Jaina is on the same bandwagon.
Jaina is on the same bandwagon. Home team wins.
Okay, home team win. We're on agreement on that. All right, so for all of our money line lovers, which, the odds are really high on that, go ahead and book it. Baltimore Ravens with the W. Let's talk about that 9.5. How you feeling about that 9.5, Mark? Are you biting, or are you going to lay the points?
Oh, it's way too high. I would definitely take the Texans on the points that are there. It's going to be like a field goal game, no matter which way it goes.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. So, Outsiders, first easy money pick. Go ahead and take those Texans. Plus 9.5. The one thing that we do. I mean, and there's a lot to this, right? We've got a Ravens team who may, I'm not saying it is going to happen, but may take a little time to get going. It's cold as freak out. It's super cold outside. They've been sitting down for a little while.
Yeah.
The possibility is there for, maybe 1 or 2 series of offense before they start to heat up.
Yeah, that layoff, like I said last week, that's what scares me most because that's 19 days between games, and for a lot of guys. And
and Mark, I wasn't really too concerned about it. Week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But after witnessing what I saw C.J. Stroud do to the Cleveland Browns, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't looming in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing that both Mike McDonald and the OC, whose name escapes me right now, Todd Monken. Maybe it's a good thing that they're both interviewing for head coach jobs because they want to impress,
Yeah, Yeah, they better come with all the heat rock, baby. I mean, all the tricks. They better have their magical bag of tricks with them at all times today. Because the one thing that was most shocking to me about last weekend, was the performance of C.J. Stroud. That kid did not look like a freaking rookie at all. At all.
Yeah.
Seriously, for his first playoff appearance, it's one of the best ones I've seen in a very long time. And that includes the Lamar Jackson era.
Yeah. Yeah.
We try our best to be objective here and just a bit outside, and I feel like that's honest to God truth, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I was iffy on the Texans drafting him as it was, so I'm really happy that the kid has proved me wrong. I mean, it's rookie year, sophomore jinx could happen. A whole lot of stuff. The future's wide open, but hopefully that's in a good way for C.J. Stroud. Just not this year.
Yeah. Big ups to Coach D'Amico too, for real. I'm just so impressed and happy for the both of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it rolling because time is becoming a factor here. So we're both in agreement. Houston Texans plus 9.5. Mark, I said earlier in the conversation that I like the over 43.5. I don't know how you're feeling about that.
I think that's perfect. I see like 24-20 for the score, so that's like right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking 44, 45 points. So outsiders, next easy money pick, go ahead and book that over 43.5. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, another not necessarily rookie, but young blood that impressed last weekend. Jordan Love got a much bigger contest against these San Francisco 49ers in the, what do you call that, the Bay Area?
The Bay Area, yeah.
Yeah.
Levi's.
Love that. We love that. And Major Keish, that's like the central area for the family. Out there in San Fran. We love it. But this is also another double-digit spread. We got San Fran minus 10. I think that's fairly accurate. Over under 50.5. I don't think there's anybody out there that will go. I really don't think there's many people out there that will go against the San Francisco 49ers or the Baltimore Ravens throughout the remainder of this playoff tournament. These are the two teams to beat, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's check in with Jada. Did she get a little crazy? Did she get a little insane with this one?
Jana took the Green Bay Packers.
I knew it. I freaking knew it. I know my friend. I know her. I knew she would shake it up with this one. Interesting.
It was a shocker of a pick, man.
That's a ballsy pick. I mean, Jay, honey, I know you're probably not listening right now. You're probably getting yourself together to make it down to the bank, but woo, girl, you got some cojones today.
Yeah.
Mark, I think we're both going with the more sensible option.
Yeah, but given Jana's record, now I'm questioning it.
Oh man, and you know what? There's got to be at least one shocker game.
Yeah.
And this could be the one. I mean, just judging from the way that things went, and for both of these young guys, both young quarterbacks, I mean, having such a kick-ass performance, it's a hellified confidence booster.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, that Jordan Love and these Green Bay Packers are not going into this situation looking at it from a David versus Goliath perspective. They're not.
Oh, no.
So, these guys they got all the momentum right now. They got the momentum on their side. Yes, it does matter that, both teams were sitting on their ass, looking at everybody, looking at all the chaos of last weekend. These guys got the momentum on their side right now.
Even more than momentum, they have that confidence that an ass whooping that they did to the Cowboys gave them.
Oh, yeah. Sure, rightfully so. And
Yeah.
also with the Texans too. Nobody picked these people to win. And they are saying, hey, we out here standing on business, as the young people like to say, right?
Oh
They
yeah.
standing on business. So Jordan Love, who is, gosh, and what a better time to start coming into your own. I think with the last performance and with advancing to the next round, you, uh, I mean, let's be honest. There's always going to be some sort of overcast of Aaron Rodgers in the discussions when we're talking about the Green Bay Packers, when we're talking about Jordan Love. But this guy is really was able to take a bit of a step out of the shadow, man, and
Oh
become
yeah.
his own person. You know?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, do we have any comment on the feed before we jump into this matchup?
Let's see. My mom's always watching, saying good
Hey, Miss
afternoon.
Martha.
Uh, John says, enjoy the games today. Great luck to your Ravens. My Eagles shit the entire bed. We talked about that a little while ago. Sorry about that, John. John says, where are you guys watching the game? I'm not sure which one of us has the best seat in the house because I will be nice and comfy at home. Keisha, you're going to be out there in the elements.
Yeah, I'll be at the bank, baby. I'll be at the bank. So I'd have to say, hopefully I can get on up to that club level. Working working on it, man.
There you go.
It's a beast out there. All right. Well, Mark. So, I mean, how you feeling about these points? I kind of wanna go with my rule. I think the 10 points is that might be too much as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked 2 weeks ago about how the San Francisco 49ers ended their season. And in my opinion, they looked a little more vulnerable to me than the Ravens.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay. So, I mean, again, here we are faced with another double digit. Which way are you leaning for this matchup?
I'm definitely going on the Niners overall for the points. I think everything that we just said about the Texans and C.J. Stroud, we can put on Packers and Love.
We can. We most certainly can.
It's going to be another close one, another field goal game.
Yeah.
I tell you what, San Francisco's got to be praising God that they got a decent defense and Bosa back there, and so that's what's going to keep them in this one. What's the total points? 50?
50 and a half. I would like the under on that.
Yeah, I go the under there too.
Yeah. All right, so we're going with another dog. We're going with the Green Bay plus 10 and a half, plus 10, under 50 and a half.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident with that, man. I really do. And I'm glad we're in agreement on that. So that's the next two. Easy money picks. Let's keep it moving. This has the potential to be an interesting game as well. We've got Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road to the Detroit Lions. This is the game, to me, Mark, is where we are going to see if Tampa Bay is real or not. What we watched against the Philadelphia Eagles, man, we can't take that shit seriously. Because as Mr. Champion said, what did he say? They shit the bed? Was that the quote?
The entire bed, yeah.
Not just the bed, the entire bed. So there was no cleanliness left. Not a white corner, not a finger.
That fitted sheet? Nope, it's not fitted no more.
Yeah, man, I cracking so much. Okay, so this is where we're gonna figure out if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are real or not. Because this here in the Detroit Lions, what you have is a worthy opponent. Now we all know how the hell the Detroit Lions got to be where they were, where they are right now, and with this weekend and everything. But this is the real test, and I'm going to defer to you, Mark, on to start this matchup conversation because, I mean, you and Jaina, saw something in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I did not. So, I'd like for you to if just inform me and let the outsiders know, like, what are your keys, um, to 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 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in regards to this matchup with the Detroit Lions?
Well, honestly, the thing I liked the most out of them that made me pick them was consistency. They have been
Yeah,
consistent. I think everyone thought it was a joke when they took Baker Mayfield, and
yeah,
they ended up they're in the divisional round, and you can't deny that it turned out to be a good pick, a good pickup, and you know, like you said, this is going to be the test. The Lions, they've had some really shaky moments too. The last few, or like the last month or
yeah,
so.
yeah. They've got a lucky horseshoe up their ass.
Yeah, and I think that Buccaneers defense is way better than people give it credit for. Um, not saying that they're upper echelon of the league or anything, just they're definitely good.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
I think again we're gonna have a close matchup here.
Yeah,
Actually, this one could be close or it could be an absolute blowout. It's one or the other. It,
yeah.
um, I
I think it's gonna
definitely
be close though.
I went the Lions on this, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks pull this one out. This is the one that I have questions on.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this, and this is just based off of what I observed with Baker Mayfield versus the Eagles. Um, and outsiders, feel free to chime in on this as well. How impressed were you with the way he managed that game?
Well, this is the game I fell asleep to because it was just such a snoozer for me.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
So basically, let me just tell you what I'm getting at. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I was expecting from Baker Mayfield. I was expecting a Joe Flacco-esque kind of performance.
okay.
Where one of those things where Baker Mayfield was kind of all over the place. You know, not really being able to establish an offensive rhythm. That's just what I was expecting, and it clearly wasn't that.
When you go down by 7 points, you start throwing pick sixes.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
And this is just from looking at the highlights and looking at the stats and everything like that. Like, I was fairly impressed with the way he was able to manage that game.
Hell yeah.
And I think that will be one of the keys to their success if they're to have any, against this Detroit Lions team. I mean, like I said earlier, they just seem to have a lucky horseshoe up their butt. But the one thing is that you can't deny, these guys got offense.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys have offense, and I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take Mark's word for what they're worth, and say that Tampa Bay's got a decent defense. So what you gonna do, Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I too. I agree with you. I think I'm still riding the Detroit train, man.
Okay.
Riding the Lion train. I'm gonna ask you again. Is this one of the ones where Jada gets a little funky?
This is one that we all agree on again.
Oh, okay. All right. I was halfway expecting her to take Tampa Bay on this one, but okay. Okay, she's come back to her senses on this.
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right, so that's matchup number 3. Oh gosh, this last matchup. All right. I'm just staring at it and shaking my head because it's the Chiefs versus the Bills, and to me, this is the one that I am most unsure of out of the 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, Mark. In my eyes, the Kansas City Chiefs overachieved last week. I mean, there were a couple of drops there, but everybody was catching the ball. All of a sudden, we were looking creative on offense and got a little rhythm going.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just not what I was expecting. I mean, you remember our conversation
Oh, yeah.
about this last week, and I was just like, man, chemistry's fucked up. Everybody hates each other. It's going to, this was a team that was supposed to shit the bed in my eyes.
You lit a fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So, gosh, now it's like, where I'm at now, it's like, man, you've been disrespecting these Super Bowl champs for real. And they've been standing on business as well. So, Buffalo Bills -2.5. Oh, it's so scary.
Is that what it is now? Damn.
Yeah. Where'd they open at? Were they 3-point favorites? Because that's what it should have been.
I think it was 3. Yeah.
Oh, shit. See, man. All right. The Patrick Mahomes and the who knows what you're going to get Kansas City Chiefs offense going up against the team that looks like they're starting to figure it out. They're getting it together. Buffalo Bills. How you feeling, man? Well, first let's start with Jaina's pick. Who did she go with? And she probably went with the Chiefs.
Jaina went with the Bills.
Holy crap! I'm really off with these last 2 picks. Oh wow!
This was the hardest game for me to pick, I think.
It is. It's the toughest one.
These two are the top teams in the AFC the last 5 years. They've met in the championship, in the AFC championship game. They've met in the playoffs 3 times, I believe. In the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes era.
Yeah.
They've just been the best in the AFC the last several years, and to see them where they are now, Patrick Mahomes for the first time ever playing a road game in the playoffs. Not kind of neutral site Super Bowl, of course.
And let me just ask you this, Mark. Don't you feel like it's just the Bills' time now?
Absolutely.
Especially in regards to being matched up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Like, it's his turn.
Here's a fun fact. So in their meetings, Mahomes and Allen, regular season, Allen's like 4-1 against the Chiefs.
Okay.
Playoffs, Mahomes 3-0.
Yeah. Like I was getting ready to say, we have a decent sample set for this particular matchup.
Yeah.
Specifically, we have a decent matchup, and you just cannot help but think that it's finally his turn to get this dub.
Yep.
Get this Patrick Mahomes off his back and be like, yo, put some respect on my name. It's finally time. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm taking the 2.5 points, Mark. God damn it, I'm doing it.
Total agreement.
My man, my slice of pizza. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Outsiders, here you go. The whole squad is in agreement with the Buffalo Bills, and that's probably what Jaina is feeling as well.
Yep.
It's just hard to shake that feeling like, yo, it's his turn.
Yeah, it's time Allen beat Mahomes in the playoffs, and he's going to do it at home.
Yeah, and honestly, the Chiefs made it there, but they really shouldn't be here this season. I feel like they really lucked up against Miami Dolphins team that is freaking injured and struggling, and those little fins of theirs, they were so cold. They were freezing out there.
I mean,
they didn't have a nice warm Taylor Swift coat.
you look back at what was it, like week 10, week 11, the Bills had no shot at making the playoffs, and the role they went on to get where they are, man, it's been crazy. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually expecting I would have taken the Bills. Man, like my confidence level, even though it's very hard to pick, I would have taken the Bills up to 3 or 4 points, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, it's going to be hard for you to doubt Patrick Mahomes because they were so convincing last week. But man, I just can't forget everything else.
Yep.
I can't forget everything else. And like you said, there was different momentum swings for both of these organizations in different directions, man. You just can't forget that. So very confident on that. Now, when we are talking about these total points here, we are. My math is acting up a little bit here.
45 and a half.
Total points on. Okay. 45 and a half. That's tough. Because I think, again, this will be a score that will end up being 44, 45 points.
I think this one depends on how the Chiefs do for offense. The Bills are going to put up some points. I could see this being like a 70-point total. Or,
you think so?
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about this, we have to, again, take weather into effect. I'm looking out the window right now, which is just, man, Mother Nature is really trying to tell me to sit my ass down. Because the way that this wind is blowing out down here in Baltimore, Maryland, okay? You got to take that into consideration for tomorrow because I think these conditions are going to be the same.
Oh yeah, the Bills already did the whole offer with the fans again to dig out the stadium, $20 an hour.
Cheese and crackers.
But the Bills thrive in that.
So I mean, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of, throwing the ball. There's no you're going to have a hard time kicking in this. I'm even more worried about this game because, man,
the Bills put up 31 last week.
Yeah.
So that's and we know the Chiefs would do good in cold weather. Minus 28.
Yeah, but those, I just feel like the gusts of wind up there got to be so much more treacherous, which really can play havoc with that ball, man. Me personally, outsiders, I like the under on this. Mark, it sounds like you're leaning towards the over.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're on the opposite side of the ball on that one, and that's fair and good because we should have, at least one where we disagree on, and just for the sake of argument. Yeah, so I think that wraps up our little divisional weekend here at JABO. In the few minutes that we have left, is there anything that you'd like to discuss before we jump off the air?
No, just football. It's so sad when football season ends because it's such exciting time of year. But the playoffs are exciting. This next few weeks, we got the divisionals today. Next week, of course, the championship conference championships.
Yeah.
But also next week, Saturday, WWE Royal Rumble, one of my favorite shows of the year. Gonna be mad excited for that. So next weekend is like one of the best weekends ever for me annually.
Action packed, baby.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it.
All the fun. All right, outsiders. Like I said earlier in the show, I'm going to be at the bank. Holla at your girl. I will be all over the place. At least for the first 2 quarters. After halftime, we're going to leave it to the Lord.
Bundle up.
Yeah, man. So I'll be out there. Make sure you holler at me. I'll be taking hella shots to stay warm and keep myself alive out there. So join me for a shot. Join me for a beer. Holla at your girl. You know how we end this show. Baltimore spread love, yo. Stay clean. This is virus flu season. All the germs swirling around. All the people coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands, yo. Wash that ass. Give hugs. Keep the love going. Flock, continue to stand up. Represent every day, all purple, everything. Just keep the love going. Our team needs us. And I'm Keisha. On the other end of that line is my favorite slice of pizza, my main man, Mark. And we are just a bit outside. Peace, peace. Call.
Coco!